You know those days, right? You're on from the minute you wake up until the second you walk through your door, and then you just collapse. It's a feeling so many of us have, but we can never really put a finger on what it is. Well, today, we're going to dig into the hidden cost of being on all day.
Seriously, think about it. You've had a long day. You were on top of your game, you were social, you handled everything that came your way. But now you're home, planted on the couch, and you're just staring. You can't even get up the energy to cook or turn on a show or even mindlessly scroll through your phone. What is happening there?
Okay, here's the big reveal. That feeling? It isn't a flaw. You are not lazy. It's the direct result of something you've been doing all day long, probably without even noticing it. You are paying the hidden cost of spending your entire day performing.
So what in the world do I mean by performance? Well, it's all that constant, subconscious work we do just to navigate the social world of our jobs. It's basically the work we do on top of our actual work.
And that brings us to this core idea, social performance. It's that professional, super friendly, I've got this version of you that shows up to meetings, makes small talk by the coffee machine, and works with the team. You can almost think of it like a mask you have to wear to get through the day, even when on the inside you feel completely disconnected.
And a huge chunk of this performance is something called self-presentation. Just think about all the brain power this takes. You're constantly reading the room, tweaking your tone of voice, managing how other people see you, trying to decode what's not being said. It is incredibly draining.
All right, so what's the build for all this mental work? Well, it creates this huge and honestly kind of jarring divide between who you are at work and who you are when you get home.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? At work, you're the on self. You're capable, you're social, you're engaged. But the minute you're home, the off self takes over, and that person is numb, totally drained, and just silent. You've literally gone from being a fully functioning person to being in pure survival mode. And this is so important to understand. This state is not just being tired. It's your brain basically hitting an emergency off switch. After burning through all its energy on social performance, it goes into survival mode. It starts shutting down anything it thinks is non-essential, like deciding what to eat for dinner or managing your feelings, just to save power and start to recover.
So we've figured out the problem, but how do we get out of it? The answer isn't to just try to relax harder. It's about learning how to gently guide your brain out of that high-alert survival state. And the solution is actually a pretty simple 3-step process to get back to a state of rest. First, you have to name it. Second, you engage in a certain kind of activity. And third, you observe without any judgment. Let's break each of those down.
So, step 2 is all about engaging in a frame-by-frame activity. This is just something simple and physical, like knitting or sketching or even just chopping vegetables. Now, why does this work? Because it takes just enough focus to pull your brain out of that overwhelmed state, but without adding any pressure. It gives your analytical mind a break and gets your senses involved, which is a gentle signal to your whole nervous system that the performance is over. Remember, the goal here is the process itself, not a perfect result.
And then there's step 3, the no-fix meditation. I love this because it's so simple. You just set a timer for 10 minutes, and your only job is to notice. Notice the exhaustion. Notice the numbness. Notice the silence. You're not trying to solve anything or make the feeling go away. You are just giving yourself permission to be exactly where you are in that moment. It's all about acceptance, not effort.
So here it is, the most important takeaway of all. You can't just flip a switch from performing to resting. It doesn't work like that. You have to build a conscious bridge to get from one state to the other. And that transition from performing to regulating, that is the absolute key to real recovery. And that leaves us with a really powerful new way to think about this whole thing. We so often treat rest like it's another thing on our to-do list, right? Something we have to achieve. But what if rest isn't an achievement at all? What if it's a transition you can practice? What if it's actually a skill you can build, one day at a time?